Okay, guys, now AQA Higher physics people, listen to this very carefully. You know those topics that you kind of side eye in the revision because they never come up? Yeah? Those. This video is your least tested topics worth knowing guide. Not because they're guaranteed, but because AQA loves a plot twist. So let's get going. Now, I'm Talk GCSE. I'm a small creator that is trying to make GCSE videos actually understandable. So if this helps, subscribe and I'll keep these coming. Now, when I say least tested, I don't mean they won't appear. I mean these topics usually show up less often or for fewer marks, especially in recent higher papers. But here's the warning, AQA rotates topics, so something rare can randomly become chunky 6-marker, and suddenly you're like, since when was this important? So this video is to balance your revision, not to skip any topics entirely. Think of it as I'm covering the basics so you don't get ambushed, technically. So let's have a look at the least tested understanding topics. Now, we're talking about paper 1 here, and the first topic that will come up is going to be the electricity. Not that it will come up, but the first topic that is underplayed, that has some areas that are underplayed, is electricity. And those are the bits that pop up inconsistently, but when they do, they test understanding, not just your memory. Things like thermistors, LDR and potential dividers. This is classic, the sensor change. This is the classic, the sensor changes when, happens to up voltage, what happens to it, question. The trick is knowing if resistance changes, the voltage splits differently. So don't just memorize, picture the circuit sharing voltage. Now next is the diodes and LED. We need to know our IV graphs. We need to know, diodes barely conduct until threshold, then current rockets, the LED. We need to know everything about them. So that's quite a good topic to understand and good topic to revise before your exam. And then National Grid and transformers, just to let you know, AQA loves reasoning. So step up means higher voltage, lower current, which means less energy lost as heat in the cables. If you can say that clearly, you're picking up marks. So electricity isn't shocking unless you ignore it. I'm sorry I had to say that. Now, next, in terms of particle models, specific gaps are to do with gas pressure, temperature. Remember, when the temperature's up, particles move faster, pressure goes up. We don't need any fancy words. We just need logic. Practical methods, especially with specific latent heat, specific heat capacity, those how would you investigate kind of questions. So repeat, remember, learn the setup, measurements, repeat reading, etc. You're proving you can be trusted with a stopwatch and a brain, technically, basically. Okay. Now, going on to the atomic structure. Now, the atomic structure, this stuff isn't always dominating in marks, but it does catch people. Half-life reasoning is a big one. So when you use the formula, but questions are like how many half-lives have passed. So if it goes from 84 to 2010, that's actually 3 half-lives. And if you don't know how to answer them, then we're in a bit of a pickle. And then contamination and irradiation. Now there's a difference between them. So contamination means a radioactive source is on or inside you. Irradiation means you're exposed, but you don't become radioactive. So it's that one sentence that can save marks, technically. Now going on to forces. In terms of forces, just think about moments, momentum in collisions, equilibrium. We get very less questions on that. So this might be a very good idea, a very good time to focus on these, because remember, they are least tested, so they have more potential to come up in your exams. In terms of our waves and magnetism, wavefront diffraction, wave applications like seismic waves, ultrasounds, motor effect detail, very, very important, and electromagnetic induction. I would say I've picked up, I've made this presentation just for you to know these topics so you are able to help yourselves, okay? And then going on to the space physics, usually smaller marker to be honest, but it's still worth knowing the key ideas. Things like Big Bang evidence, redshift, etc., fusion. Clear definitions will grab you quick mark here. Now, I do want to talk a little bit about your strategy. Now, as I've told you, this video is only about the topics that haven't come up as higher markers previously in the last 5 years. But that doesn't mean you leave other topics and focus on these. That's not what this video is about. Now, all I'm saying is you cover everything, but do not ignore these topics. Prioritize high frequency areas first. So you spend most of your time where the marks usually are. Use your past papers strategically. Don't just do loads. Analyze what's asked and how they phrase it. And expect rotation. And remember, you're just trying to balance your revision here, but we're not trying to skip any content. I'm Talk GCSE, and if you like this video, please hit subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you.